What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, hit that bell notification, put it on all so you get notified immediately. As soon as we drop new content, you'll be the first to know. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this one. We're going to talk a bit about Devin the Dream Haney. Now, Devin the Dream Haney, young prospect, he's only about 22 years old now. And he's a guy that is a world champion, WBC world champ. And he's been doing very well in his career. He's a guy that has sought after certain fights, like he wanted the Lomachenko fight, but Lomachenko went after Lopez instead. So he is a world champion, WBC world champ, but the way he got the belt was kind of almost handed to him because Lomachenko was given his franchise status. And he's been doing pretty well for himself, Haney, but he's a guy that, again, he's a guy that needs some sort of defining fights. He needs fights where he's going to be challenged, and he's a guy that's at the peak of his powers. He's still young, but obviously he's at the stage where he's at. He's a world level guy. He's a champion, and he needs a good challenge. And this is where Jorge Linares steps in. Eddie Hearn has been talking recently about making that fight between Devin Haney and Jorge Linares. And again, Jorge Linares is no pushover. He's no walkover. He beat Luke Campbell. I think he's the first man, or maybe the only man, to put Vasily Lomachenko down in their fight, because he carries a lot of power, does Jorge Linares, and he's also a very good technician. He's a pretty quick fighter, and yeah, he's a guy that he might not be right at the very top, but he's the type of guy that if you're not on your game, if Devin Haney is not the real deal, then Jorge Linares would wipe the floor with him. He's that sort of guy where he will really test your mettle, much like how Ryan Garcia had his little struggles with Luke Campbell. If he was not the real deal, if he wasn't really sort of a sort of top level guy, then he would have got beat up there. Campbell put him down and everything, didn't capitalize, but it gave him that little test. And I think Jorge Linares is like that, but another level. He's a very high level technician, very good technical boxer, and I think for me personally, this is the right type of test and the right type of challenge that Devin the Dream Haney needs at this point in his career. I think since he's not able to really get his peers in the ring, it was a big shame with Ryan Garcia when Garcia defeated Luke Campbell. He got into that mandatory WBC spot where he would have an automatic shot at Devin Haney, but he said, nah, I'm not interested in Devin Haney. I would rather fight Gervonta Davis. I've been calling out Davis for years or whatever, and I want to fight him. I don't want to fight Devin Haney. Devin Haney needs to get over it. And for me, that's a big shame there, really, because ultimately, Haney, you're getting a world title shot there, and you're just sort of snuffing it. You're just sort of saying, nah, I don't need it, don't want it. And it makes you think, wow, what are some of these guys in boxing for? I mean, if you're given a shot at a world title, surely you'd take it. These guys, I would say, theoretically, they all believe that they're going to beat each other, and they all believe that they're better than each other. So you fight someone, you get that automatic shot, you'd think you'd want to take it. But anyway, he doesn't. So Haney's in a position now where in terms of these peers, it doesn't look like anyone's really that interested. Even Lopez, I think he just puts his nose up at these guys. He feels he's above these guys, and he's got mandatories and stuff to take care of anyway. So none of these guys look, these four guys, the Lopez, Haney, Davis and all that, none of them look, I mean, Davis is going to go up to 140 pounds rather than fight these lightweights. So none of them really seem to be in position to fight each other. So I think for me, this Linares fight is sort of the best at least at this point, that Devin Haney is going to be able to get, because he can't get his peers. I mean, couldn't get Garcia, although Garcia gets the mandatory spot. So I think this Linares fight makes a lot of sense for him. I think it's a fight that will be difficult for him. I think it will be tough, but I think Devin Haney, just being the sort of younger, fresher guy, he may not have the experience that Linares has, but just in him being young, fresh, sharp, a good boxer, I would say, yeah, Devin Haney definitely would outpoint Jorge Linares at this point. And if he really presses it and he really gets things right, he may even be able to stop Jorge Linares late in the fight, because I think now Jorge Linares is sort of coming to the end. So I reckon if Devin Haney really sort of presses the action, if he's a bit aggressive, I reckon he might be able to get him out in the very late rounds. And that'll be a good contest for him. That'll be a good stern test for him at sort of world level, and it'll be just what he needs, since the peers are not getting in the ring. Maybe take this guy on. So there's also been a bit of news regarding Haney and Vasily Lomachenko, because Lomachenko is a fight that Eddie Hearn has said, yeah, he'd be interested in making that for Devin Haney. He said basically, I'm interested in making it, but I don't think Bob Arum will be interested in making it, because obviously Lomachenko is a Bob Arum fighter. He's a fighter that was like a prized possession for Bob Arum, and then Teofimo knocked him off. But also Teofimo Lopez, he's a Bob Arum fighter as well. So it's one of them where Hearn just doesn't, he said in his article that he doesn't really think Bob Arum would be interested. But in recent times, I think it was in Boxing Scene article, Bob Arum has actually come out and said, well, do you know what? Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko, that is a fight that we'd be interested in. We absolutely would entertain doing that fight. So it seems that Eddie Hearn may have misjudged Bob Arum in that instance. So Arum has expressed it clearly that he would be absolutely interested in making Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko. So at least you've kind of got that possibility. But for the time being, the fight for Devin Haney looks to be in May versus Jorge Linares. So yeah, we might get Lomachenko in the future, maybe next fight or maybe next year or whatever. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on him. What do you think of Devin Haney? How do you think him versus Linares will go? Do you think he can beat him? Do you think he can stop him? Yeah, and until next time, it's just my thoughts. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism, over and out. Catch you on the next one.